Hey,
What up, Shanti?
what up, D?
Man, I've been on like Zoom meetings all like since literally I'm not making this up since like 5 a.m.
Are you
Pacific
serious?
time. Yes, I'm tired. I
You
have
know
two
you're.
more after this, and then I'll DJ a set for well, one is Q-Tip's birthday.
I saw that on your page.
Yes. So I'm gonna do. I really want to play like a Tribe Called Quest set for my brother Tip, and then I'm having like this block party concept with Issa Rae.
I saw that
So
too.
so that should be fun. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm coming up on the 1 year anniversary of my sister's death in about a week, so I'm trying to, get my mind right and process it. But I can't complain. I have a roof over my head. My family's safe. My family's healthy. Thank you for asking. How is your family doing? Because I really wanted to check in and see how your girls are doing. And you bring so much joy to us. But on a serious note, a lot of people are struggling right now. But I just wanted to see how your family's doing first and foremost.
My family's great. My best friend has a COVID-19, so
Okay.
that's I actually need to check in on. I haven't even been able to check in on him, but I need to do
Okay.
that when we get off. But for the most part, man, it's being out here, being quarantined alone is at times it can be rough mentally. Um,
Mhm.
but I also imagine it from an 8-year-old's perspective, from my daughter's perspective, who used to seeing me every week. I'll go, do my gigs, and then I'm flying to Michigan, where I haven't been able to do that. So I always try to be mindful of, even though I'm like isolated, that there's an 8-year-old that you still have to be strong for, who
Mhm.
doesn't
Mhm.
really understand what's going on, and
Mhm.
you're trying your best to keep her aware, to make sure that she understands that there's no place that I would rather be.
That's
But then the other struggle is, because I'm here alone, life has changed, like in terms of like my reach, and it was really because I was here doing this alone. So I don't know, man. I kind of go back and forth with
I
it.
know. We do we all go back and forth, I think, and we're seeing so many of our experts talk about mental health and how it's affecting us, and we're going to get into that in a second. But I don't know if it's really, maybe it's sunk in by now, but like how much you've helped so many of us through this, and we laugh and joke in the sets about buying out the bar and time to go to coat check, all the stuff that we would do if we were in person at one of your parties, but you really jump started a form of self-care, and I don't even know if people realize putting it into that category during this pandemic. And I'm so proud to have been a part of the first one when
True,
it was
true.
just 200 of us, and you were just like going through some of your favorite songs, and now you're like changing the world. Like, how does that really make you feel? Just from like, it's Good Friday, it's a day for us to kind of reflect and just really look at how much God has blessed and changed your life in some really tough times.
So I do want to go back on something where I said that I was alone. Actually, I wasn't alone. In the physical, I was alone. But like
Right.
in terms of like even why I DJ online so much, what enabled me to do like 9 hour sets and another 9 hour set and a 7 hour set. If I were in a club, I wouldn't do that. I'm tapped out at 2 hours. But
Right.
because I felt like I was in this virtual world with everyone, and I really felt like I was in there. It was almost like I was just playing music for my friends in my living room. And if we were just all together, we wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
give each other 2 hours. We would just hang out, and I would
Right.
play music. So, and it really feels that way when when um, when I'm playing music and communicating with people. So no, I won't say I've been alone. As far as like shifting the culture to this kind of virtual world, obviously I didn't start it
Right.
with Instagram Live, but in terms of like no one utilized it at that point the way
That's
they
right.
utilized the platform the way that I did on those days leading up to what we started, and as it started to swell, like no one, I don't even, they'd never seen anything like that.
That's
So
right.
it made it special to see so many of our peers and our friends and different friend groups all come together.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it was in my IG live, the fact that we were all like, the beauty of like even like my life changing right now is because it was like the people like uplifted me, like my friends uplifted me. But then once other people caught on to the story itself, it was like more people and then more people. And it's like now it's just, I just feel like a great responsibility to make sure that while we're going through this, that I do what I can to provide, some form of escapism for people through music. That's what I do through music and photography, and that's the only thing that I can do right now. And also through conversation, like what we're having, like with real
Right.
substance. On the other side of it is, it's great to see people put the spotlight on so many like just DJs of color
Mm-hmm.
and and women DJs. A lot of times with the bigger clubs and they go for the bigger names, and I was fortunate enough to kind of break through into some of those clubs. I mean, into a lot of them. I don't want to downplay what I've done, but
Right.
like a lot of my buddies weren't able to do that, and like now they have the ability to showcase who they are through this forum, and it's been great to see and very inspiring to see DJs play what they love and not
Mm-hmm.
what they think people want to hear.
That's right.
Like my sets in the past, I was talking to Q-Tip today. Obviously, like I said, it's his birthday, and when I called him, and the first thing he said to me was like, "Yo, I'm so proud." I couldn't even get "Happy Birthday" out. He was like, "Yo, I'm so proud of you." Like,
Mm-hmm.
and coming from the person who actually inspired me to DJ, to get back into it,
Mm-hmm.
where on his birthday, a milestone birthday on top of that, that was the first thing that came out. It meant that like what I did and what I continue to do and what I strive for is to always be a good person. And look, no matter what, I believe, that whatever God has for you is going to be yours no matter what.
That's
So
right.
why not get it the right way, and why not get it a loving way?
That's right.
And even coming up to like right now, literally had to like stop answering my phones because everything was just coming at me. And when it's coming at you, when you're like home alone dealing with your own fight and your own struggles, and then
Mm-hmm.
people throwing things at you, it just became somewhat overwhelming. So I'm finally at a place of like finding real peace with everything.
And can kind
And
of breathe a little bit.
yes, because
Yeah.
now I know what it is. It's
Yeah.
like the mission is bigger than how much money I can potentially make when this is over. The mission is how you can be. I'll be 50 years old, and how you can influence generations,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's my generation or the generation to follow, or the generation following them. Where in my IG live, you'll have like Ari Lennox and Diggy, but you'll also have like last night Quincy Jones and Jeffrey Osborne
Mm.
all come into this place
I love
just
it.
to feel some love, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I'm fortunate to be in this position.
And let me just say, like, you know, I've known you for quite some time now, and I've
Mhm.
watched your growth, and I've watched you start back up your DJ career, and how much you move people and all the brand parties and private events from the NBA to the NFL and everything that you do. But the fact that you have always been the same person, in this moment, hasn't been anything less than that. Like in your club quarantine, you shout out your crew and everybody else that you roll with, just like the celebrities, which as humans we should, but we know that the world doesn't work like that. But I
Sure.
just want to big up your humility, your compassion, and your love for human beings. Like, a lot of like, music executives, like you shouting everybody out, that really warms the soul. And in a time of quarantine, it brings a piece of wellness that is like invaluable, right? Because you
Yes.
feel like you're being noticed when we are all kind of silenced right now, if you will, in terms of, being able to have that physical connectivity. And I just want to thank you for that. Like, it means a lot, the fact that you're even on my IG live today talking about mental health, talking about wellness in the midst of everything else and all these huge brands and everybody that's coming at you. And when I asked you to do this, you were like, of course. And I'm just really humbled and wanted to say thank you.
I appreciate it because it's like, look, you get to the point where this is just for me. I don't know how anyone else operates. Like I've always followed my passion. So whether it was through music or when music was over, I was trying to figure out. I mean, I wasn't like a fisherman for hire, but I used to go fishing every week because I was trying to find some peace.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to find some peace. Like dude, I've been on my own since I was 17, living on my own since I was 17, and then obviously, in relationships,
Yep.
my ex, and um, but for the most part, I've been a provider since I was 17 years old. And there was a period of my life where I could no longer provide when there was no more of this,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, I thought it was probably the most difficult point in my life because I didn't have material things. That's I didn't have the hot car anymore,
Mm-hmm.
or I didn't live on the water in Jersey facing the city with this beautiful apartment anymore. Um, I didn't have the records, I didn't have the fame. People knew me as D Nice, but I really didn't have any money, and I went through that for like 7 years, and it was probably that's probably where my character was born. Like, because I learned to just let go and stop allowing people to tell me who I should be or what I should
Mm-hmm.
do. I should just follow my passion. Now, that may not work for other people,
Right.
but it just worked for me because that was the life that I wanted for myself. And I know I was no longer stressed. I ended up starting a web development company. I did well with that. I fell in love with photography. I've done America's Next Top Model. I've shot album covers. I was doing all of these behind the scenes things, and then DJing just like really took off. And DJing has been such a blessing, and it's not just about like financially, like being able to financially provide for my family, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also being in a position to say I am what some people consider an old school rapper who have had all of these lives in this one life,
Mm-hmm.
all of these careers, and reinvented myself over and over again.
Yep.
It wasn't out of necessity. It was just because it's really who I am. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just a creative person. I like,
Mm-hmm.
and the only thing that makes me happy is having the ability to create. That's what I love.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward to now when people are like, yeah, kind of like attempting to overwhelm me with these ideas of who they think I should be and what I should be doing, and like,
Yeah.
all of these companies and these brands. The one thing that made it easy for you was a text message. We haven't even been on the phone like that. It's hard. But the text message was like, D, I need you.
Yeah.
And I look at you like you are one of the 200 people that supported me. So I'm supposed to do this with you.
Thank you.
And that's just the way it's supposed to be for our friends, and people that we love.
I appreciate that. And I want to pivot a little bit. As you know, I run my own foundation, silencetheshame.com, which is to erase shame and stigma and to provide education around mental health. And in 2015, I don't even know if you really know the full story, but I came really close to taking my own life. And I had strong suicidal ideation. My father took his own life when I was a child. My best friend took her own life 6 years ago. And this work through Silence the Shame is really like, it's where I'm supposed to be, is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. It was difficult walking away from, I was making $500,000 a year in the music business, corner office, the whip and all of that. But I was struggling mentally and didn't know how to, even process it, didn't know what to call it. And I think, so many people, as we kind of talked about earlier, are experiencing some level of anxiety. We all have mental health, is what I tell everyone, but we may not all have a mental illness. But certainly this quarantine is making us anxious. I saw your post the other day where you said, being quarantined was starting to get to you a little. So you had to go out and take a walk and you had your camera. Just if you can just talk to your viewers, my viewers, about the importance of taking care of your mental health in this pandemic and even after, D.
I'm actually learning the importance of it. Like, I've been unable to sleep lately. Like, after week one, it was cool. Week two, I started to get restless, and that's when I
Mm-hmm.
started DJing. I found some solace in like playing music for people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, by week three, getting all of these calls and emails and deal offers, and the one thing that gave me a sense of peace was that I was talking to a friend earlier today, and she reminded me. She was like, "Do you remember our conversation on that Saturday before things changed, and with that party when we hit 100,000?"
Mm-hmm.
And she reminded me of the conversation. She called me. She works with a major company, and she asked me if she can give me money to sponsor it. And I didn't want it. I was like, you know what? No, I'm doing this because I really do love what I'm doing, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like this is gonna help some people, like brighten their day. You know, and that Saturday in particular, I just had this feeling, and I was calling my friends and like, you know, my political friends and this one, and you know, just to say like, at the time it was like 20 something thousand people in there, like on that day, you know, the day before, like, hey, just pop in and just make people feel good, you know.
Yeah.
And she reminded me of that conversation today, and it is why, like, in order for me to have some peace with this, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even talk to anyone for 2 weeks because I didn't want the influence of like people telling me how I should handle things, and it was and it was really because if we weren't quarantined, I would be free in the world. Like I would take every deal. Like cool, because I had a chance to sit with just me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's like the life that I thought that I needed isn't really necessary. You know, like all of that stuff, you know, the cars. I mean, trust me, I like nice cars. I'm
Hey,
a car
I'm right
person.
there with you.
I really do like living in a nice apartment. You know, I like to travel, but the way I was going about it, it just wasn't good for my body, for my soul, for my spirit. You know, like at all, you know, constantly being on planes every day. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought that this was rough, but realized it was a chance for the universe to say, hey, let's hit reset. Like figure out what's most important to you. So what's important to me that I've learned by being here is I like being I'm a giver. That's one of my love languages. I am a giver. You know, I love to touch. So it's like having all of that taken away from me in one time, like, you know, temporarily taken away.
Right.
Like there's no one here, so I'm not touching anyone. There's, you know, my kids aren't here. Um, I want to give. I want to give. And I found that way of giving through music, through just uplifting someone's day.
Mm-hmm.
And that energy is exchanged. It goes both ways. So when someone is like, when I'm playing music at like 2 o'clock in the morning and I've been playing music for 5 hours and it's still 20,000 people in there, it's like, okay, they appreciate me for what I'm giving them and they're feeding me with that energy. And that's what keeps me going. It's like, just keeps me going, you know, but I
And the
can't
music
imagine
has been a form of therapy too, though, you
for
know,
everyone.
for everybody.
Yes. I mean, I can tell you it's been therapeutic for me because I'm playing. I don't think I can ever go back to DJing the way I used to. You know,
Yeah.
like because this has brought so much joy to my heart and to
Mm-hmm.
others. It's like no disrespect to any of the new artists because I still listen to them. But
Right.
I'm saying in terms of just playing a full night of like new records, like no, I would never do that again. Like no, I
Mm-hmm.
want to just play what I love and what feels good to me. So I know for sure now I can just say no, I don't want to do that. Of course, I have Vegas residencies, and now they're offering them again. No, I'm cool. Like I don't want to. That's not what's gonna make me happy.
That's right.
Yeah, being able to be authentically who I am makes me happy. So that's some of what I've learned by just being in here.
And I would equate that to self care, right? That's your way of
Absolutely.
finding self care, which is something that we at Silence to Shame obviously recommend for your emotional health and wellness. And we know that you love doing photography because you've gotten really good at the photography. And I'm hoping there's a coffee table book coming down the line. But what else do you do for self care? Even once we're able to get back outside, what are some of the things that you like to do that
Man,
just kind of really calms you and put you in your happy place?
that's the thing, Shanti. I haven't really identified that because
Okay,
all I was
and that's
doing
fair, and that's fine.
was just working, being on a plane,
I
and
got you.
yeah. So
So now
you
you
know, that was
feel
part of
better.
what was that's why I'm always DJing because I'm like, well, what the hell do I enjoy doing other than playing music? Music and photography,
I hear you.
which is me literally standing outside every day taking pictures. It's like literally the same picture every day. But no, that's what makes me happy. So I don't really have any other hobbies. Like, like I mean, of course I do some reading, but I haven't even done that much reading because I'm constantly DJing
Yeah.
and then taking meetings and you know. But no, I haven't. I'm gonna figure that out, and I'll get back to you.
Well, we look forward to seeing that unfold because
I'm gonna follow through with this one. We're gonna do a follow up interview and talk about it.
I love it. I love it. Well, I only have two more questions. So I created this platform, Yeah Wellness, and it's about mind, body, soul, and business, because when you're not financially well, we know how that can play an emotional or have an emotional effect on you. What are some of your tips for financial wellness for entrepreneurs or creatives, during this pandemic? Anything, any platforms that you found are cool, any apps, that might help some DJs or anybody monetize something, anything that you have?
For other DJs, see, I can't talk about how to monetize because I haven't really done that on this
Okay.
platform. Like I turned the offers down because I wanted, well, I'm no longer going to turn offers down. I just needed 3 weeks of like really just doing this
Right.
from a place of love.
Or it
I
could just
still
be
have to,
entrepreneurs, any advice.
yes. So yes, so I mean, just dealing with. I found that this platform itself, Instagram Live, and platforms like Twitch are just great for DJs to showcase their talent. You can probably monetize it on like YouTube or because they do partnerships with depending on how many followers you have and
Mm-hmm.
how large your reach is. But I've just been blessed all my life to have found things that I actually enjoy doing to
Mm-hmm.
still make money. So, like, if I want to turn the switch on right now and make money right from here, right now, I can do that. Just doing what I'm doing right now, I can make money doing it, and that's been a beauty. So I would tell people to like find what you're passionate about. Like, there are so many people. I talked to a couple of buddies who, they have like more of a corporate lifestyle, and they're furloughed. Like they're not making any money,
Yeah.
nor were they happy in that position in the first
Mm-hmm.
place.
Mm-hmm.
They did it because it was a means to an end, and where other people, a lot of creatives are finding unique ways to. Some people are taking the time to write books or to write, screenplays based on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Some people. I mean, some of my friends have started companies selling masks. Like they're just
I
finding
saw
like
that club quarantine when you had that was fire.
yeah, yeah. My friend Tracy Smith hooked me up with one of her buddies that made that. My other friend, she made. Her name is Corinne. She sent me over a pack of her masks. Like people are
Nice.
just finding ways to do cool things to still be able to provide for the family. So I guess it just depends on what your interests are.
Mm-hmm. But now is a good time to really try to hone in on some of those skills and take the
Absolutely.
time. Yeah, absolutely. So I want to give some resources, and then I'm going to ask you what your favorite movie is. So for those that are listening, we've been talking a little bit about emotional health and wellness. I wanted you guys to know that, particularly for those that are in New York, there is a free hotline. It's 844-863-9314. Over 6,000 mental health professionals have agreed to do free mental health services. Also, if you're not in the New York area, you can call NAMI, and their helpline is 800-950-NAMI, or the Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-TALK. There is another, I don't know if you knew about this, Dee, but like if people are feeling anxious at night and it's, they don't have anybody to talk to, you can text the word silence to 741-741 and just talk to a counselor. It's free, it's confidential. If it's 4 a.m. after leaving out of club quarantine and, you still might be stressed out, but on a serious note, you need somebody to talk to, there's free services out there. So check out the Crisis Text Line organization.
Make sure you type that in and then pin it. So people are asking for that number again.
Okay, it's 1-800-273-TALK. I really haven't learned how to pin yet, but
So what you do is this: you go to your comment,
okay.
type in the number, text silence to, put the number in, and then when you send it and you see it in the chat, you just tap on it, and it'll ask you if you want to pin it.
Okay, I'm doing it now. Sorry, D.
That's all good. As soon as you see it, you just tap it.
Okay, so I'm posting it now, and so I tap it.
It should say pin. If you lightly tap it or
Okay, I
scroll.
got it. I learned something new today. Thank you. I got it. Okay.
Yep, there
All
you
right.
go.
So the last thing I want to mention too is so this Saturday on our Silence to Shame Instagram Live, you guys follow us on our IG at Silence to Shame. We partnered up with the NFLPA. I don't know if you knew that, but I'm really excited about that partnership. We're doing a lot around emotional health and wellness. And so we have Cliff Cosby, who is a former NFL player and Super Bowl champ. He's going to be leading a fitness class for us. And then if you're at home by yourself, like, self quarantining alone like me, and you have a moment, you can just stop, close your eyes, and breathe. There's a technique called the 4-4-8 technique. You breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4, and then you exhale for 8 seconds. And that really goes a long way. So I want you guys to do that if you're having, any stressful moments. And the last thing I want to ask you, Dee, well, first is my friend Hillary Dunson's birthday. Can you say happy birthday, Hillary?
Hey, oh, happy birthday, Hillary.
Thank you. You're making my life real easy right now. So Hillary and Q-Tip share the same birthday. But, before you close us out, what's your favorite movie or a good movie we can watch to make us smile this weekend? I was thinking about a couple, like maybe Boomerang or Strictly Business, or, oh, I'm sorry, maybe not those, but you got any good
the very nice movie list.
I love it.
No, damn, what? It actually would be fun to watch Boomerang. I haven't seen that in forever.
That's still one of my favorites.
You know what? I would actually watch Boomerang. Wait, you guys did the soundtrack, right?
Yeah, we did. LaFace. Shout out to
LaFace. You were there at LaFace at that point when the soundtrack?
So I was actually, it was like the year before I started.
Oh, wow.
But I used to go up and take breaks. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, I was a music industry exec for like 25 years. So.
We're talking, you're a legend. You're a legend.
No.
You are, and you're loved and respected. And I appreciate your vulnerability and sharing your story. And we have to be that. I think that's one of the things that we all should have learned with this. It's okay to be vulnerable. Let me tell you, man, the other day I had my weekend was rough. That's why I was playing so much of like just being emotional. And I like teared up. Our buddy Hassan Smith called me, and I just couldn't even stop tearing up. I couldn't even talk to him, and look, man, we're not used to this.
Mm-mm.
That's why I'm so glad that you are talking about it and you're sharing this information and you're sharing a number where, people can call, and you're discussing 448. I didn't know that. It took me a minute and I fully haven't learned to meditate properly, but I'm learning. I'm learning to just let go. But when you're so used to things just constantly going, it's sometimes it's difficult to just slow down.
And I could see that in your face sometimes, because I end up in a lot of the same places, whether it's in DC for a political weekend or All-Star Weekend or BET. Like, you're so fortunate and blessed, but like you're going and going. And I used to wonder sometimes, I'm like, does D know that like he cannot pour from an empty cup? And I want you to just make sure that you're pouring into the D nice cup, right? And that you're bringing that self-care and awareness and vulnerability back into your spirit so that you can be whole as you try to pour out to everybody else. I want to make sure that D is taking care of D.
Oh, no, it's there. I've been pouring into myself.
That's good.
And that's why I was saying, like, the importance of this whole experience has been, it was just like, all I needed to do was to just be still.
Yeah.
That was it. Is to be still for the clarity that was necessary to have an impact. Like one of my buddies and one of your buddies, Mayor, his wife used to say to me all the time whenever I would hang out with him, and she said, I just really feel like one day you're gonna have like a major impact on the world. And I would look at her like she was crazy. Like honestly. Like she said that as recent as like 3 months ago. And I was like, why does she keep saying this? And then when it happened, and the fact that it happened from a place of love and wanting to do right for other people. I mean, it initially started from a very, self-serving space because I was lonely. But like, once I saw what was happening, it was like, wait, it's okay to just give back even during this time when you're struggling. I'm not giving too much of myself, like, honestly, I'm giving you enough because I'm feeding me too. I would still be in here listening to those same songs. Trust me. I would still be in here playing music and listening to the songs. So I'm getting a lot out of it as well. But knowing that it just brightens someone's day. Like people have literally spent 3 weeks with me playing music.
Yo, I mean, and like there are nights where I have work to do, but then my friends will know that I'm working and they'll just send me a DM with your IG live. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta work, but I can't like not get on. It's like I can't not listen. It's so infectious and it just brings so much joy to us. So give me a movie. Give me a movie that we can watch this weekend.
Oh man, what am I gonna watch this weekend? I don't know. You know, my movies are like
Throwback. Anything?
I like old movies, man, like Claudine and like
Mm,
movies like that. You know, Lady Sings the Blues. You know what? I'm
I love
actually gonna watch Lady Sings the Blues.
All right, I'm gonna write
That's
that.
what I'm gonna watch.
Lady Sings the Blues. I love that. I love that. And I just want everybody to know that, so you know, May is coming up, D. It's right around the corner. May 5th is National Silence the Shame Day. We have our own day. We're so excited. And on a serious note, with everybody being quarantined, we know that the rates of depression are on the increase. I recently heard reports that domestic violence is up, which really is disturbing, but it's because people don't know how to process through their emotions, and so they're taking it out on others. So we hope that you guys will join us on May 5th for National Silence the Shame Day. I definitely won't ask you and put you on the spot, but I hope we can do something together to support May 5th, D. And then if you guys want to, go to our organization to consider donating, visit www.silencetheshame.com. We are a small organization, but doing mighty work to support everybody during this time and just around emotional health and wellness. And one last fun fact I got to tell you, D. So in middle school, guess what my nickname was?
D Nice.
Yes. And to this day, I have like 10 close friends from high school. They only call me D Nice.
That's what's up.
And so, we've been kindred spirits and soul sisters and brothers for a long time. So
I'm gonna tell people to start calling me Shanti. So we're even. I'm Shanti now, all right? I love you. I love you.
Love you too. And I just thank you so much for everything you're doing for the culture. Everybody, remember to take care of your mental health. Get help if you need it. Tune in to Club Quarantine. D is back tonight. He's on tomorrow. And let's just be kind to one another. We're going to spread love. Let's turn up tonight, D.
Spread love. I can't wait. Seriously.
We're going to do it for Q-Tip. Happy birthday, Tip.
Happy birthday, Tip. I'm starting with the Q-Tip set, like straight native tongue. That's what I'm starting with. So.
I cannot wait. Shout out to Fife. I miss my
Slim, I see you, man. I see all of my crew in here from Club Quarantine.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you.
What's up, Yaya?
What's up, April? Man,
Thank you for this talk. I love you, girl.
Love you too. Bye.
All right. Bye.